what's going on YouTube? Sitting around, messing around with this computer. Just had it sitting around, didn't know what was going on. Well, I know what's going on with it. First off, it's missing a hard drive. It's missing right here. And I figured, let's see if I can make this thing work. Because if I can't, I need to just throw it away. This is an old school, read that, HP Pavilion. It's just a crappy little model made for XP, which is funny because it never came with XP. It came with Vista. And it has that plate right here that says made for Windows XP, but it came with Vista. Anyway, I'm no expert when it comes to doing things, but I have been building my own computers for, I don't know, 2017, so 17 years. It's not hard at all once you figure out what you're actually looking at. So I already went ahead and started tearing this thing apart. The main components that you need to know if you don't know about computers and you're afraid to work on them. Once you know the main components, it's my shadow. Once you know the main components, they're really easy to work on. You just got your main motherboard down here, which would be like this motherboard right here. Regular old motherboard. You have your power supply up here where all your power wires come out of and go to power everything. Your power comes into there. It's like a transformer. It puts out 5 volts and 12 volts. And it goes through these many different wires to many different things and, you know, give power to all of your things. Then you have your hard drive, which mine is right here. I had one inside this little shrapnel. And then you have your disk drives, which, look at this. This is actually a floppy disk drive. I did not even believe that I had one, let alone anybody had one. And then you have your disk drives up here. I believe that's a CD writer and a DVD-ROM that are in here, just to give you a little idea on the age. Also, it has, get out of the light, the old school plug-in keyboard and mouse dealies. Anyway, I figured, and then, okay, so if we know the main components of the computer, which are the motherboard, the power supply, the disk drives, and your hard drive, which is where all your information is stored. So all your information is stored on the hard drive, and the motherboard processes it and sends it out on your video to your video or out through your sound. So on your hard drive here, it looks complicated and everything like that. It's really, really not complicated. I say that because I can just say that. It's not that complicated because you only need it to do, well, as long as it works right, then it works fine. So what do we have on here? We just have a bunch of ports right here for like your accessories, like your sound card or, you know, stuff, your video card. This is a really old board, by the way. I think this is 15 or 16 years old. Top of the line when it was, though. You've got your RAM over here, your random access memory. And that's pretty much how much... how is it? Your hard drive is where all your information is stored. Your RAM, your processor processes the information, and your RAM determines how much information that your processor can process, I believe. Right here, you can always find the processor because it's usually the fan right there on the board, and it has a heat sink there. Underneath the heat sink, that's your actual processor. Oh, look at that. It was an Intel Celeron. It was like I said, it was top of the line when I got it. But anyway, that's pretty much a breakdown of the board. You got a battery over here. That's pretty much for like keeping your time and your BIOS settings and stuff like that. I'm not even going to get into BIOS. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty doggone simple. Well, I guess I will get into BIOS. BIOS is just your initial, when you first turn your computer on, you get that one screen that pops up, and then it goes to like the screen of your computer manufacturer. Well, your BIOS is where you can set settings. It's kind of like the background system of the computer. It's pretty much like the system of the board, I believe, if I'm correct. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this. I just know how to do some stuff. Oh yeah, and if you have a broken computer, that's the best time to try to see if you can do stuff. Just open the thing up, start messing around. These RAM, they pop out very easy. Just press a clip, bang, RAM is out. Obviously, these are very old RAM. I don't even know what they are. PC 133. That's how old this is. But anyway, that's how easy it is for your RAM to come out. You just saw that. Clip, pull out. You want to get faster memory, all you got to do is just get new RAM. It's that easy. Open up your computer, make sure the power's off, make sure your hand is on the case so that you're not doing it like, so you can see them on carpet. You don't want any kind of static charge going off onto the board. So just keep your hand, or what I like to do is just kind of lean on the case itself. That way I'm grounded out while I mess around with stuff on the board. But that's it. So let me go ahead and start ripping this thing apart. This old computer was sitting outside at one point, I think, in the rain. It's been all over the place, so I don't know how bad this is going to be, but I'm not going to use most of this stuff anyways. I just want the case. So let's get into this thing. Alrighty, we've got this board ripped on out of the whole case here. And one other thing I forgot to mention, this thing had a modem. That's right. For you kids that don't know what the heck this is, that's when you had to plug your phone line out of your wall in your home phone into your computer and call up a company, and it made loud noises and all that crap. Which was funny because that's way after, I mean, when I got this computer, it was like a year old, and I didn't have a modem for like 8 years or something at that point, so I have no clue why that was on there. But another thing I just wanted to point out here, some quick, easy little things here on the board. These are your accessories right here, these three. This would be your like sound card or something like that. That would plug right in there. Or your old modem that would plug right in there. That's how it plugs in, just like that. Maybe I can get it. There we go. And it plugs in just like that. And that's how those boards work. Another thing, what else do we have? Another RAM. I had 1 gig of RAM. These are 512 sticks here. Just to show you how antiquated this is. Another fun thing, this is your main power that's coming in. That comes in on this cord right here, the gigantic thick one coming off the power supply, and that plugs in right there. Then you have your primary IDE, and then you have your secondary. So this would be going to your hard drives, or hard drive if you were doing that, and then this would be going out to, say, your DVD burner, Blu-ray player burner, stuff like that. This one over here is actually a floppy IDE, so that would not be used. There's another power cord right over here. You see this little power cord right here plugs in right there. Another one of my boards has it right in here. You put the two cords together, and it just has 4 more, well, a set of 2 and 2 going beyond there, and you just put them together, plug them right in like they're all one. And this one had 1 more power. I think it was right. No, that's the fan. But they're all labeled there on the board, just in case you need to know. Anyway, it's going on long enough. Let me go search through my boards. Let me find another board and see if we can make this thing work. Alrighty, got another board loaded in the bottom. Put all the plasticware back in. Put my little shroud back in for the hard drive right here. Put a hard drive into it. Use the same power supply. This little dealie on the back of the computer that tells you where everything goes. I did knock that out because the things did not line up. So, did that. Oh, wires I did not use. This one. This is, right here. You can see it goes to this. That is the USB on the front there. That goes to that little white box right there, all the way by the opening, and it does not reach. It's really horrible lighting, but yeah, there's no way that's gonna reach, so that's not getting hooked up. I hope my power wire is hooked up correctly. This one is for a serial port that's on the front. I've never used a serial port in my life, so I don't intend to start using them. That's not getting hooked up. And this one right here, that was hooked up to the front, And it's just plugged into this board that was plugged into the accessories, and I guess that's Firewire, I think, or something like that. Yeah, never used that in my entire life either, and not about to start trying now. So I'm going to get rid of that board, and if it would just come off. There we go. Got it unplugged, and whatever that connection is, I don't use it, so that just gets tucked back in there. So yeah, I guess now I hope I have it hooked up right. Maybe if I got my power wire hooked up right, and by power I mean the power switch and the LED light on the front, not the power. The power is coming from the power supply. So I guess this is ready to test. So I guess I'm going to test it up, see if it works. Alrighty, I've just been wasting a bunch of time because this wire right here, let's see, it's all braided together. This is what you call the power switch cable, and it plugs in on the board, and it's a lot easier if I just pull up this board here. So you've got these bare wires. Most of them have like a plastic surrounding on them. Let me see, I gotta be wrong on one of them, right? No, every single one. Plastic, 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 plastic. Even this one is almost bare, but it's got plastic. But as you can see right here, it also says right below there, it says PWR, which means power. And then next to it, it says IDE LED. And next to that, it says PLED. So that's your power switch. Your IDE LED, which is just a light that blinks on the front of your computer whenever it's doing things, and then your PLED, which is your power light on the front, and it connects right in there. Well, on this board, it's this way. On the new board, it's completely backwards, and one of the bunch of the pins are missing, and I actually had to move it one pin over and put it in just to make it work. But just to prove that I did get it to work, here's my power light on the power supply. Right down there on the board on the corner, we've got LED, and it's firing up. So I at least went this far, so good. So alright, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can actually get a display out of this thing. Haven't done that yet. Haven't hooked up a mouse or a keyboard, but luckily I've got that old school plug right there, and I've got one of those kind of keyboards still. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in, and we're going to go make progress from there, see if I can get an operating system on it, and see what kind of, what this thing can do actually. So alright, well, that was fun. Tearing this thing apart, putting all new guts into it, and actually hearing it work. I don't know if it actually works. We don't have this light on the front actually working. Alright, well, I'm going to have to go ahead and hook it up to a monitor and see if it actually works, and see what I can do with it. But that was me tearing apart a computer, putting a new board and hard drive in there. Didn't mess with the 2 disk drives here because I'd have to pop off the faceplate. Not a big deal, can do that, but I needed at least one. I kept this one hooked up, the DVD-ROM drive, just so I can use it as a primary drive in my BIOS, just so I can hook up a new operating system. But if you want to hear more about that, throw it in the comments, and I'll make a video about that. And that's it for this video. So that was me playing with the computer. Woo, so much fun. But at least there was a little bit of a win. I mean, once I actually see a computer screen popping up on a computer screen, then I'll know that I actually won. But I call this a win. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, checking it out. Hope I taught you anything. I mean, this was not very educational whatsoever, but hope I at least gave you a little bit of encouragement to go ahead and play with your own stuff, and especially when it's broken, just start messing around with it. That's the best way to learn anything about anything. That's how I learned about everything. Anyway, now I'm rambling. So, thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Don't forget to throw me a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and do all the fun, happy social media stuff down below. And I will catch you in the next video. Till then, later. Alright, how about that? Windows failed to start. Good. I'm not going to use Windows anyways. I'm just going to use Linux. Anyway, hey, look at that. Computer is working, so, sweet. Now all I need to do is hop in the BIOS, change my settings so that my disk drive is my primary drive, throw in my new installation disk, and start it all over again, and it should load up the installation disk and set up my new operating software. So, bam! Computer done. I call that a win. Alright, thanks for watching, y'all. Later.